Hi, I'm Grant from Harken, here to explain my A-class cat and the systems that I've got on it and why I've done it and what I've used. I'll start off with the main sheet. With the main sheet I've used 57mm T2 blocks at the back. They take the bigger sheave diameter, allows the rope to move a lot easier around the sheaves, a lot nicer to pull with the arm. And we have to go to 57 because the 40s are just a little bit too light for the main load working areas here. Then we can break down to 40s. Now I've gone for the cascade system that was invented by, well, actually I don't quite know who it was invented by, but Andrew Landenberger was a man that sort of pioneered it here with the A-classes. And then we've gone to a 3-to-1 at the front. And what we've used at the very front is a little custom block that I had made up, which was a double 40mm with a ratchet on one side, so we get a full almost 180-degree turn on the ratchet rather than having a little 45-degree one on there on the smaller block at the bottom. And we just have a little elastic to hold the main sheet up to stop it from catching on the rotation arm. Sorry. So the double block on the main sheet at the very front is the sort of semi-custom one I got made up, which had the ratchet on one side, 40mm in diameter. It's the stock standard line pretty much now. The code number for it is HSB 411. It's a great little block. You just put it around the mast, a little strop, and you know she's ready to go. It's just a little glamour block. It keeps the system all very nice and clean and tidy, and very useful, user friendly. So what I've done is put all the control lines that are normally here on the top. Basically I flipped them over, put them underneath, and they all come out through the little pipe that's glassed on the side of the boat here, underneath as per standard, and out to the side to the Spinlock PXR cleat. I've used the PXR mainly because I was having trouble getting a stock standard cleat to lock off, and it meant I had to put them on very big risers, and that just wasn't nice, and I just didn't like it. So now I've converted to the PXR, put it on the very lightest setting for the spring, and she's a beautiful glamour thing to work now. So when she's up, we can just grab the line from here whilst we're out on the wire, pull it, she locks down, the full control goes back. We get to the bottom mark, down, slider forward, perfect. So what I'll also do is just show you what's underneath, so you can know what's happening on the insides here. Let's just get her open. So there we go. So we've got the spring going forward to the cheek block, back onto the slider. We've got a 4-to-1, or a 3-to-1, sorry, system on the inside here. Just using little 16mm sheaves underneath a little carbon plate. Another 432 cheek block there. I've just used 432s because they just have the single mounting hole. Takes up less space, allows me all the full travel at the back, and then we just go through the tube on the inside and out. Unfortunately the springs that are in there are only gal at the moment. I'm trying to track down some nice stainless ones, which will make the system a lot more nicer and robust and not so maintenance heavy. So with the Traveller, what I've done is I've put a PXR cleat on there, also from Spinlock. What I found was the stock standard cleat again was a little bit hard to let off at the top mark. And I came up with this idea whilst I was over in New Zealand at the New Zealand Worlds, and a couple of the Kiwi guys actually set up a system. Because the Traveller line, we split the tails on it. What they did was they set up a second cleat on the side of the beam, sort of up around here sort of area. And what they used to do was, that was a separate line altogether. They could flick that off quite easily and let the traveller drop down, you know, sort of 6 inches, roughly where you sort of want it, rather than blowing your standard traveller that's on your car. So I thought, well, why have this extra cleat? Why don't we just have the PXR on the actual car? And because they've got the T fitting on them, it goes straight on there, and it would just seem pretty sensible. So with a flick of the wrist, you can actually uncleat the traveller now around the top mark quite easily and drop it down as far as you want, cleat it on again, and keep going up on the foils now straight away. And you're just powering straight off the reach, you know. Rotation control is pretty simple, basic. It's just a mixture of the little T18 blocks, and it's a very simple 2-to-1 system. Runs under the tramp, little take up down underneath to get the slack out of it. Starts with your basic little T18 off the rotation spanner, out underneath the tramp, out to the side here, through a micro cleat to another little T18, and back underneath. Here again, it's all Marlow control line. Makes a fantastic continuous line. I'm actually in love with this rope. I think it's fantastic, hence why I use it. Yeah, geez, that's pretty simple and straightforward. I'll get to the underneath the boat because there's a fair bit happening under there. Yeah, she's a stock standard system. Inside the rig, there's your standard cascade system going down simply to a micro cleat at the bottom here. Out the side to a 29mm T2, back in, and what I've done is I've just kept it as standard, running forwards, running backwards inside with a little take-up system inside there. Downhaul, I've used a 40mm T2 at the top. We did have 29s on there. Again, they were tending to be a little on the light side, and whilst it would work for, you know, a good 6 months, then I'd need to replace the block, and I just hate doing that. You know, we want it to be reliable as possible. Again, bigger sheath diameter, easier to pull on the arm. I've set up a little quick release system here with the soft shackle, so you simply do that and she's off. Very simple, very quick, great for when you're coming back into the beach. Well, that's my baby. Thanks for watching. I love this thing. I love this whole foiling generation that's starting to happen now. I think it's a great positive thing. We've seen guys pretty much sitting in on the side of the boat in heavy breezes, pretty much foiling or at least skimming. So it feels a lot safer downwind in big breeze than what it ever has. And I just think it's fantastic, and I love it. And I love the A-class, and you got to get out there and get on them. They're a fantastic boat. Thanks.